Today we got a haircut. What's going on, Faded Culture? Today we got a haircut tutorial on how to do a burst fade with a crop top.
And sorry we've been missing, we've just moved into our new spot. With that said, let's jump right into the tutorial.
All right, so first I'm gonna go ahead and dampen up the whole top of the hair so that we can create some sectioning and focus on our shear work and creating our shape up top. I need a better water bottle.
Why don't you just take them in the shower?
Hey, you know what, let's go to the shower, bro. I also like to add a lot more saturation exactly where I know I'm gonna be sectioning, so I know I'm trying to separate the back from the top and then the sides from the back and the top. Didn't you have a water bottle, Adrian? This one sucks. Oh yeah, it's right here.
I was hoping you didn't find it so we could take them in the shower.
Right here, I'm gonna go ahead and look for the crown and separate the back. And one thing to help you separate is I always like to comb the hair in the direction that I will be sectioning. And then I like to use the fine tooth side just because it helps pull the hair a lot easier. What I'm gonna do is establish my length on top first to a square shape, and the same thing on the back. I'm gonna create a square like this and then on the sides as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and part out a section down the middle about 1 finger to 2 fingers in width. Here, just pick up our first section from the front. And right here, we're gonna follow the shape of his head a little bit. And when we reach right here, I'm gonna straighten my fingers out so that we cut straight. For the back also, depending on what shape you wanna cut, I'm gonna just go ahead and give them a little trim, almost like a mullet style. So I'm gonna just cut a straight line down the back. I'm gonna grab a little bit of what we cut on top to use that as a guide to connect to. Now we already established our length down the middle of the back and the top. Now what I'm gonna do is establish the length all around the perimeter of the head based off of this middle line right here. So if we pull down right here, you'll be able to see our guide. You see right there in the middle. I'll go ahead and match that right now, but first I wanna just horseshoe this section so we separate the sides from the top. So I comb everything in the direction that I'm gonna section. Keep my thumb down on that hair right there to keep that hair gripped away. But since I do want to leave weight, like I said, we want to create a square shape on back here as well. If you wanted to just keep a normal regular shape, you would just move around with that line. But I'm gonna pull everything straight out forwards to leave more length on the corners. Now I want to do the same thing with the sides. I'm gonna cut it square. And right here, I'm not gonna follow the shape of the head. I'm gonna literally just go straight. I'm gonna move my knuckles as close as possible to the scalp. And then right here, we're already connecting because I'm grabbing a little bit of that back hair. So I'm just connecting straight out. So we should have like a corner right here. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now I'm gonna match this whole side to this top hair that we did. So I'm gonna grab right here, pull out straight from the base, look for my guide right there, and just cut straight with it.
And shout out to Jason and the FC community who requested this video.
So now again, I'm gonna just come up, match this line right here, and then this line right here. Now for the top, like I said, we wanna keep that square shape. So I'm gonna comb everything down the middle, and I'm gonna start from the back and pull out small sections at a time about the width of my comb. Again, where Jason had asked and requested this, he wanted to understand more on how to achieve that square shape up top. You see our heads are round. We have our profile section right there. Our fingers mimic the line that we're gonna cut. So I could do this and I'm rounding up with the shape of the head. But since, like I said, we wanna leave length on these corners, I'm gonna just pick up my line straight up. Now I'm straight, I'm square. I'm able to cut to my profile section. And we're just gonna repeat this till we reach the front.
In case y'all haven't already caught it, we did mention the name Jason twice already in this video. Jason is one of our members in our FC community, which is an online course that we have. We do have it linked below in case you wanna join. Honestly, there's so many requests that we get on Instagram and YouTube asking for certain haircuts. And we're prioritizing the people who are part of this community. So again, it's down in the description. Go ahead and feel free to check it out. We have a bunch of modules, one of them being the actual technical skill. The other one, we cover finance, we cover self-development, and we cover marketing. So again, down in the description, Feel free to check it out. You think that sold him?
I wouldn't buy it.
Trash.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
Now we're just gonna repeat everything that we did on this right panel, on this left panel.
How do you,
You don't.
like a lot of beginners,
No, what?
like your tension is pretty strong on your fingers. Like what do? Do you have some exercises for that?
Oh, I benched
Turn around and tell
355.
the camera.
I benched 355.
Turn around and
I bench in 3. Oh yeah, I mean, if you need practice with building up your tension between your fingers, just practice like on a mannequin or somebody. If your dad or relatives near, just pull their hair using both your fingers. Figure out a way to practice getting the tight grip on hair.
Or just like after you watch this video from now on, use these 2 fingers to just pick up everything
Like
around the
chopsticks?
house. Yeah, just to build those little muscles.
Once you get to the point where you can lift up a 50-pound dumbbell with your 2 fingers,
You're good to go. You'll receive a certificate from Viticulture.
yeah. And make sure that we don't have a lot of overhang. So I'm gonna pull down, I'm gonna keep my fingers straight. Remember, we're matching this top overhang to that bottom section that we had. For my brother to come in and do the clipper work.
I got a corded one, I got a peanut. My brother already kind of combed it into its neutral position. Accentuate these C-cups. I got the 1.5 guard, lever fully open, just to debulk. So I am staying away from that C-cup area, because again, I want to leave it a little dark and do a low burst, exaggerating that flick out motion as I approach the top. Because my brother did do a square shape, I don't want to start cutting into this, because once we blow dry it, I really want those corners to pop. Notice how I don't take even this debulking step lightly. I'm already using the corners, blending in, because I mean, why not? The whole point is to give them the best fade possibly that we can. So pick up there and clean up just a little bit. And let us know if y'all want a tour of the new spot. Go ahead and drop a video on that. Let us know down in the comments. Unless y'all don't care, then neither do I.
You hear that, Steven? I was tuned in.
Steven's over there butt naked printing shirts. He don't care, he has his AirPods in. All right, so I am gonna use my number 2 guard on this C-cup, so that's why I didn't go to that corner. Now, I got the clipper, no guard. Gonna go ahead and close it all the way and set in my first guide. Again, these guidelines, the thing with these guidelines is you want to make sure that they are as clean as possible. Now that I set this first guideline, this is my foundation. The rest are just going to run parallel to this one. Notice how I'm still staying away from this corner. Notice the texture of his hair, how it almost looks like that blended that in. The fully open position blended the fully closed, but it's still a faint line there. But again, that's why we run it parallel so we don't lose track of where it's at. So now we're gonna go ahead and continue the process. Using my 1.5 guard. Notice how even on all these guidelines, I'm using mainly just the corners of the clipper and it's leaving everything real soft. It's gonna make the process a lot easier when I come back and start to erase those. The reason I'm coming up right here, because you always want to cut against the hair. You can see how the grain goes down. So we need to cut against that. With our number 2 guard. Now we're gonna go ahead and clean up this full corner. I feel like the number 2 is a good length for me to basically leave hair dark enough there to really make that corner pop. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. We're almost at that 1 million. Free FC tattoos for everybody once we hit that 1 million.
Nobody said nothing about FC tattoo.
I know. I'll get it on my face if this video gets 2 likes.
Fun fact, my brother has a skyline of San Antonio tatted on his lip.
I also got a...
You have to show him now. You have to show him.
Don't put me on blast. I'd rather show him the... I have a little tribal sun around my belly button. I'll show it at the end. Watch to the end. Not only for the results, but for the tattoo review. So right here, I don't like to use anything longer than honestly a 3 lately. From there, we do anything clipper over comb. It's pretty much blended in, but I could still see a few little spots that I could just tighten up barely, and then we'll come back in with thin and shears, if anything, to remove a little bit of that bulk. But again, I don't want to remove too much weight because I do want these corners to pop. All right, so at this point, you should have 2 guidelines. It's real faint because again, that half guard kind of erased it. It's right here with the lever closed and the lever fully opens right here. Gonna go ahead and start with that top one using my half guard at that 3/4 position. This step did create a small faint line right above it, and I'm gonna come in with my 1 guard, leaving it in that 3/4 position and just finish that those little dark spots. Notice how now I'm even exaggerating the corner even more, basically just using the last tooth of the clipper. We're gonna attack that first line using our 3-step process. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the lever fully closed, take it up halfway, and finish off with fully open. Now we're gonna go halfway. And finally, fully open. Use my trimmer in a forward position just to get that much closer to the scalp. Turn that around, finish blending that in. Is be softer as you approach the top of the hair that's left, just so we leave a guideline for that shaver. So now you know exactly how high up to take the shaver. And then just use the corners when you approach that faint line. All right, so again, we're gonna go ahead and start to debulk using my 1.5 guard. No guard, lever fully closed, and set in my first guideline. You see how from doing the same steps just from one side of the head to another, how much the texture changes. On the other side, when I did this lever fully open position, it almost blended out the lever close. But on this one, it's way easier to see. This is why we always say touch-up work always varies from client to client and from one side of the head to another. Now I got the 1 guard, repeating that same process. So now continuing that process, my 1.5 guard. So now I'm gonna use the number 2 guard. And just like the other side, now I'm gonna go ahead and cover that corner. Notice I'm holding the ear down and cleaning up behind it. Again, it's just so I can follow that grain and make sure that I'm cutting against it. And finally, for the number 3 guard. Just like the other side, you should have those two guidelines. Lever close, lever open, starting with that top one, using my half guard into that 3/4 position. Gonna start from the back side, move my way forward. Again, I'm moving to my one guard, leaving it into that 3/4 position. And finally, to that last line using the 3-step process. Now we're gonna go halfway. And finally fully open.
Why you have your shirt off? Steven's getting naked upstairs.
Yeah.
There you go. By the way, show him the shirt. World Ride t-shirt. Now available at FadedCulture.com. Can't trust employees. Start getting naked behind your back.
Shirtless, yeah. It's crazy.
No, what's up with him?
What if he's shirtless under the cape? For the back, because we do have good length and we want to kind of make this texture pop, we're just going to go ahead and clean out this fuzz back here. Not really put in a hard line. Or y'all could just stay up there and just continue working. I mean,
I got every second of that.
Jesus
I know, you can
Christ.
see him walking away like a little Smurf.
I know. Better wear a Faded Culture shirt next time. Just saying. What are we gonna do with this chest hair?
I wanted to put an FC. Hey Orlando, you're too loud. Can you just text him? Nice. We didn't want to put a hard line on this just because I know this is gonna have a lot of texture. I want this texture to kind of mimic the lineup as well. So I'm gonna see if I could just break it up a little bit. Is add more texture on top by just pulling out sections at a time and just breaking up the top. Remember, we still want to keep that square shape, so I'm gonna still keep my fingers straight, mimicking a square, and then just cut down. Putting the feather razor about halfway into the hair and then out.
And what if you don't even have a straight razor?
Use your teeth.
Yeah, teeth.
Start biting out chunks. Give it that textured finish up top. So before I apply the product on the hair, first I want to dampen it. I'm gonna go ahead and use some of our Faded Culture matte clay. I can find our products at FadedCulture.com if y'all wanna go ahead and shop there. But all I'm doing is grabbing about a dime size amount of product. So you just wanna make sure that the product is emulsified into your hands to where you could barely see it, but you could feel it. And then just work it all the way down to the root of the hair. Grab a little bit more product, really work it into my fingers, and you could personalize any spot. All right guys, but that's pretty much it for this burst fade with the crop cut on top. We explained how to cut on top to a square shape. So I hope that answered your question, Jason. I was able to elaborate more and get you to understand how to go ahead and create that square shape.
Catch you on the next one. Peace.
He's rowdy San Antonio.